guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you are new. My name is Heather. I'm a homeschooling mom of 3 kids, elementary and high school age. Today I'm going to be sharing all about my opinions for Lucy's curriculum for the 2023-2024 homeschool year. She would be in 3rd grade if she were in public school. And yes, so let's get started. So we use Sonlight, and I've been using Sonlight in our homeschool since 2010. And because of that, I am very comfortable with shifting things around or changing things around or moving things, adjusting the schedule, all of that stuff. I need to preface that because I know that there are a lot of people that step into Sonlight and see the grids, and it can be a little bit paralyzing because it is a lot of information. Literature-based homeschooling can be slightly overwhelming because there are so many books, but just know that you can drop books or add books or change things around as much as you want. Curriculum is just something to be used to help you teach your kids. So this year, Lucy did Level D, Sonlight Level D, which is year 1 of 2 of US history. She did not do the language arts section for Level D. She was not at that place for writing. She is on the younger end for Level D, and so we ended up using Level 3 language arts for her language arts program for this year. So Level D is year 1 of 2 of US history. It has a ton of books. It has lots of picture books and encyclopedias and some fun historical novels. And it is one of my favorite levels. I actually prefer levels D through the high school levels than the earlier levels, just a personal opinion. But we have used pretty much all of the levels from Sonlight, I feel like, from their P34, which I think is now called T, all the way through level 300. And we love them. I just continue to use them. So I have had Level D for a long time. This is our 3rd time through Level D. And I did drop some of the books for Level D just because Lucy was not interested in them. We did all of the spine work. We did the majority of the novels, but some of them she just wasn't interested in. And to me, there isn't a lot of, there's not much point reading those books if your child is not really interested in them because they're not learning anything. You're just reading the book to them and they will forget everything. We had a lot of great discussion. She also did sit in a little bit with the discussion that I had with Jack and Emma. Jack was doing level 100 this year and Emma was doing level 300. Level 100 is 1 year US history course for high school, and level 300 is 20th century world history. So she still got a little bit of extra discussion or listen to some extra discussion from my high schoolers as well. So that is always good. But overall, I love Level D. It is our 3rd time through it. I don't have anything bad to say about it. There have been a few updates to different books. Some books have been switched out, but overall, I really like the program. I think that it is a good overview of the first half of US history. Level D is early Native Americans through the 1850s. It's a really good program. I think we do have a lot of good discussion. Because she's a little bit younger, some of it just kind of goes over her head, but it's all about dipping your toe in the water and just kind of starting. This is the first time through a lot of this stuff. So, you know, you're just kind of dipping your toe in the water. And then when you revisit it in the middle school years, it'll prompt some things and you'll deep dive on some of the topics in much more than you did, obviously, in the early elementary years. So overall, love Level D. We will most likely incorporate some of the Level D readers as we're going. She did read some of them, maybe like 5 or 6 of the readers she read, but she was not interested in a lot of that historical literature the way that Emma and Jack enjoyed it when they were doing Level D. Not that she's not capable of reading the books. She made a lot of strides over the past 1.5 years with her reading, and she is capable of reading the books, but she's still in that stage where she just wants to read a good story, and she doesn't enjoy the historical fiction the way that I do. And I think that it's partly because she just doesn't want to like things that mom and big brother and big sister enjoy. So, but that's okay. We did level 3 language arts. She had read all of the level 3 readers in the summer, and maybe like through September, she finished reading all of the level 3 readers. And then I just started letting her choose books off of our reader's shelf in the basement, because I have all of the readers for all of the early language arts levels, as well as all of the summer readers that we've been purchasing for maybe a decade now. And so I would just have her choose a book and read every day. That is the goal, just to read every day. At this stage, I just want my kids to have a love of reading. So I do not force them to read books that they do not enjoy. As they get older, they do read more books that they do not enjoy, but for the most part in the elementary years, I just want them to be reading something. So she did language arts level 3, and we really enjoyed it. It's the start of learning their paragraph reading, which they use this diamond notes process of writing paragraphs, and it was how we did paragraph writing with Emma and Jack as well. And so I think that it works well. She's also able to see both Jack and Emma enjoy writing. They do a lot of writing on their own, a lot of fiction writing. Emma has been writing a novel this past year. Jack does a lot of script writing for animation that he is doing, like little TV shows that he is doing. So she also really enjoys writing, and I don't stress about the grammar or the perfect sentences or the spelling at this age. I just let them, if they are interested in writing, I let them type on the keyboard on the computer, or they can dictate to me, and that's what we've done. So history and language arts from Sonlight were really good. We did do level C from Spelling UC. She just did the first book. She did not do the second book, and part of that was because she was just doing so much copy work. The reason that I got the Spelling UC level C was not for spelling. It was for copy work, because she just needed extra practice with her copy work. She also was doing cursive this year, and her cursive is really, really good. Her printing needs a lot of work. And so she is still doing a lot of copy work through, her language arts, through Sonlight, and she will continue with the next cursive book next year. But those are things that will come when they come. And so she did a great job with her English this year. I'm really pleased about that. For science, we did a science intensive summer this past year. She did the butterfly unit from Sonlight and hatched butterflies, and we did a lot of projects surrounding that. She also did a lot with our chickens this year. And so those were the big units for science for her. She did do a little bit of scratch with Jack this year as well, and he kind of includes her with some of the coding things that he does on his own. But that is going to be something that we do again this year. We're going to do a science intensive summer. And it's funny because when my older two were her age, that's what we did every year. We did a science intensive summer so that I would not have to focus on science in the busy fall season or through the winter months when I did not want to be doing experiments in the house. And so we will continue to do that. I think that's great for the elementary years. They do not need like a full year curriculum. They can do unit studies and do quite a bit if that's the only subject you're focusing on through the summer months. Plus it is perfect weather in Maine, and it is wonderful for nature study and gardening and all of those type like seasonal learning type things. So her science was really good. I definitely recommend the butterfly unit from Sonlight. I think that it is really good. However, the hamper that they give you for the butterflies is not the traditional butterfly cage that zips. And so I would almost recommend not getting that part of the butterflies from Sonlight, because it was kind of hard to keep our butterflies contained in that hamper. It was a little bit more challenging. They kept escaping. we bought our butterflies through Amazon and they all hatched. So it was really good. I will leave a link for the butterflies that we purchased in the description box if you're interested in doing that. It was a lot of fun. Lucy wants to hatch chickens. She watches this YouTube channel called White House on the Hill, I think it is, and they have tons of different birds, and she really enjoys watching that. So that is great if your kids really enjoy chickens and different birds. It's a really fun YouTube channel. For math, she has been doing level 3A and 3B from Singapore. It is the Singapore primary edition. No, it's the Singapore primary US edition, 3A and 3B. We did have to slow down 3A in the fall and in the beginning of the second semester. Typically, we will do a book, like the A book in the fall and the B book in the spring, but we ended up carrying over a lot of the A book into the second semester. It was the multiplication tables, a long multiplication, long division, that it just took her a little bit longer. And I feel like this also happened when Emma and Jack were going through level 3 and level 4, that they had to slow down learning those the times tables and then the long division and everything. And I have to remind myself, because I have 2 high schoolers that are in Algebra 1 and Algebra 2, that this is the first time that she's really going through these subjects. So I need to be able to slow down. I can't have the same expectations. And I think in the fall, I did kind of have the same expectations, even though she's just 9. And I shouldn't. It's hard for me to shift my brain from high school to early elementary, and I just need to remember that. But we will continue doing 3B through the summer. I think she's scheduled to finish around the beginning of June with the 3B book. So we will do that, and then we will roll into 4A in July when we start our new homeschool year. And that is kind of how I worked math in the early elementary years, pretty much until 6th grade, and then I gave them a little bit more of a break between 5th and 6th grade, and then Algebra 1. So I just kind of roll to the next book as we're going through the years, and I think that that is helpful for my kids to not have too much of a big break from math when they are in those early elementary years, learning their math facts, all of that kind of stuff. We did also start using extra math this year for math fact practice. It is a free service. It's extramath.org. I will leave a link in the description box. It is not fun. It is very boring, but it works. So that and the Schoolhouse Rock multiplication songs, we also did those. Okay, so that was history, English, science, and math. So I think that was everything for Lucy. It was a good year for her. It was a more challenging year moving into 3rd grade. I think the K-2 grade levels are very much an overview, just kind of starting to learn about history and just not as in-depth. And then D and E in Sonlight are much more in depth, and just more details, more facts, and harder subjects, especially with math, and learning to write and writing paragraphs and all of that stuff. It's just adding an extra layer of work. So it was a little bit of a challenging year, and adjusting my expectations and adjusting how we do the work was helpful. I know that I need to just sit down and focus with Lucy and do school from like 9 to 10:30 with her and just get through all of it and then let her play for the day. She's very good at staying focused for that hour-and-a-half time. But if I am doing something else in the morning, or we do not start first thing and she goes to play or starts doing something else, it's really hard to bring her back into the homeschool rhythm, and it becomes more challenging throughout the day. So keeping that in mind is something that I had to work on myself this year. But overall, I was pleased with all of my choices for Lucy. I knew that we weren't going to be doing the level D language arts portion, even though they combine language arts and history starting in level D. I definitely think you could use level 3 or 4 language arts with level D and be totally fine. Next year, we're going to be doing level 4 language arts. We're not going to be doing level E language arts. We may take a bit of a gap year because it's an election year, so we may do more focused work on government and elections, especially because I'm considering the Guest Hollow Government Economics and Personal Finance course for my older 2 kids. So it would be fun to kind of combine a little bit more for them for next year. Not really combine, but teaching similar topics is a little bit easier on mom than doing all kinds of different things. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you found this video helpful. If you have questions about any of the resources that I talked about, please let me know in the comments, or you can email me. My contact form is always in the description box. Again, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks, guys. Bye.